The first thing I saw was blue and red lights bouncing off my marshmallows. No joke, just flashing in my eyes while I was mid-laugh with my buddies roasting over a crackling fire. One moment it's just us, a quiet summer night, the air heavy with pine and peace. And the next there's this park ranger stomping toward us, flashlight blazing, voice already loaded with courtroom energy. "You're in violation of Section 4, Subsection B, Fire Regulation Code," he barked, and I swear I could hear the capital letters in his tone. Now, I've met all kinds of rangers in my life, but this guy had the haircut you see on the cover of How to Yell at Retail Employees Monthly, short on the sides, angry on top. The kind who thinks the badge gives him Jedi mind tricks. He demanded to see my permit, puffed up like he expected me to panic and throw myself at his mercy, but I just kept roasting, looking up slow, and hit him with, "Actually, you're standing in my campsite rental zone. So the real question is, do you have a permit to be in my firelight?" You should have seen his face. The whole angry posture just crumbled. And I realized right then, this wasn't about rules. It was about control. Let me back up a sec. It was the last weekend before the tourist flood. I'd taken my old pickup deep into a corner of state forest. Nobody remembered, just to get some peace barbecue, a little maybe film, a quick vlog about camping light. I didn't know the forest had a new ranger who treated the job like Smokey the Bear handed him a sword instead of a badge. As soon as my fire got going, here come the official headlights tires crunching gravel. The man marches out like he's about to arrest me for running a black market s'mores ring and starts in, "Fires after dusk require a permit. State code." "Where's your paperwork?" I pointed to the laminated copy right by my tent, signed by the park office that morning. He glanced, scoffed. "That's for tent placement, not open flame." He tells me to put it out, has no clue he picked the wrong camper. See, I'm not just some random who missed a rule. I read the fine print, I know the code, I've managed more property disputes than I care to count. So I asked, nice and calm, "Can you cite the fire regulation code you're talking about?" He starts fumbling with a laminated cheat sheet, mumbling about dry conditions, only it's been raining for 2 days and there's no fire ban anywhere in sight. My friends are snickering and I decide to make this standoff educational. I pull out my phone, start recording, pan over the campfire, the soggy ground, the shiny truck. "Just to confirm, you're shutting down a permitted campfire in non-suspension conditions?" He nods, looking like he just realized this isn't going how he practiced in the mirror. Then his radio crackles. "Unit 7, all current fire permits remain valid as of this morning." He freezes. I can feel the heat rising off his neck, not just the fire. I lean back, all smiles. If he wants bureaucracy, I'll give him paperwork. So I go to my truck, dig out a blank rental form I use for events, fill it in with his name, today's date, and for purpose, I write emergency fire monitoring. I hand it to him. "Since you're supervising, I'll need you to sign this as the responsible party for fire safety. Standard policy in my rented zone." He stares, you can see the gears grinding. Out of panic or pride, he actually signs. "Congratulations, I say you're now officially the fire marshal of this campfire. My friends lose it." The ranger tries to save face, but his radio pops again. "Unit 7, did you just authorize a campfire rental? Headquarters wants clarification." He stomps off, kicking dirt, but I'm already grinning at the camera. That's how you turn a shutdown into a sign-up, only I had no clue that was just the start. By morning, the video I'd posted had gone viral. Comments from lawyers, campers, people asking if they could rent permits from the legend. The title, "Karen Ranger Signs Her Own Defeat." But behind the laughs, I knew he'd want payback. Sure enough, his white truck rolls up again, but now he's got a clipboard so thick it could flatten egos. "I've reviewed your video," he starts. "You realize you can't record park officials without consent." I give him the public property, public officer, public record speech. He doesn't blink. "You're being cited for unauthorized distribution and running an unregistered business." He flips a page. "You charged a rental fee to a park official." I barely hold in the laugh. He hands me a yellow citation, but half the form is blank. No violation code. I call him on it. He grits his teeth. "It's pending." I shrug. Then it's not valid. You just gave me a souvenir. He storms off. But that's the moment I decide. Fine. If he wants a paperwork war, I'll bring a cannon. By noon, I'm at the county land office applying for a 3-day recreational permit for, wait for it, his primary patrol zone. The clerk who's seen my video laughs so hard she nearly drops her pen. Within the hour, I'm back at my site permit in hand, legal to host small gatherings. That night I set up again, but with an audience. Local folks, new friends, grill smoke and campfire songs. Right on cue, here comes Ranger Redface. Sees the crowd, demands an explanation. Permitted recreational event, I say, waving my new papers. He starts pacing, muttering about cross-jurisdiction. His radio barks county permits take precedence. He can't win. I lean in and whisper, "You're technically a guest at a registered event." He slinks off into the trees. The place erupts in laughter. But deep down, I know he'll be back. By then, every step he takes just digs himself in deeper. Next morning, 2 government SUVs show up, my friend the ranger now with a supervisor, Officer Barnes. She's all measured authority. We've received reports of unauthorized gatherings, possible commercial activity. You need state and county coordination. I point out, the county clerk said the same about you. The jurisdiction overlap is a gray zone, and I know it better than they do. I hand Barnes a cross-authority review petition, a move so bureaucratic she's forced to put everything on hold for evaluation. The ranger's smirk melts away. That night I upload day 2 of the Campfire War. People call it paperwork performance art. Even a retired supervisor comments, "They can't touch you if jurisdiction's under review." Brilliant move. But deep down I know I'm walking a thin line. Humiliating a small-town ranger is one thing, dragging the department into a mess is another. Later that night, the ranger's truck circles my camp like a wolf, headlights off, just crunching gravel in the dark. The air feels heavy. It's personal now. I decide to end it face to face. I march down to the station, knock on his door. Came to return this, I say, handing over the rental form he signed. Left a copy with the county office attached to my jurisdiction request. "You'll get a call." He goes pale. Paperwork is permanent. I remind him, then disappear back into the night. That morning I get a notification, state camping privileges suspended pending investigation. The attachment is a joke, screenshots from my own videos, accusations of disturbing protected soil. My site is gravel, nothing grows there. Still I head to the county. The same clerk stamps my permit under review, freezing the state's order. Later, the ranger shows up in plainclothes, coffee in hand, trying to sound friendly. "Look, this doesn't have to keep going. Take down the videos, apologize. I'll tell the department it was a misunderstanding." I raise an eyebrow. "So you admit it was one?" He's quiet. "You'll end up blacklisted from every park in the region." I just grin. "Then I'll rent private land and charge them for fire safety consultations." He glares, but the fight is gone. By evening, his threat comes true. State inspectors in SUVs marching through the woods, measuring fire rings, taking soil samples. One whispers, "Looks like mild erosion." I almost laugh. But the real twist comes when the supervisor, old sun-leathered, says quietly, "That ranger's been a problem. You might have done us a favor." The next morning, there's a thick envelope taped to my truck. Mediation hearing official. I call a legal podcast buddy, get him to record the session. The ranger spins his case. Barnes looks exhausted. I counter every point. Finally, Barnes says, "Enough. This is about pride." For the first time, the ranger looks small. Barnes slips me her card. "If this escalates, call me." Some people can't handle authority without an audience. I keep camping. Every move legal, every permit laminated and pinned like a badge of honor. Then one foggy morning I wake to orange tape. Temporary closure environmental review. County clerk laughs when I call. He can't do that without a joint review. Minutes later, I have proof no closure order exists. I film everything, the tape, the email, my commentary. By sunset, my new video explodes. He shut down my campsite but forgot the law. The comment section goes wild, memes, t-shirt designs, lawyers quoting policy. The ranger's truck is parked outside the station. Through the window, he's pacing, phone glued to his ear, looking ready to combust. Next day, he returns with 2 sheriff's deputies. He tries to say I'm violating a closure order. I hand the email to the deputies. They shrug. We're siding with whoever has the paperwork. That must have stung worse than my campfire. That afternoon, I get an email from the state's regional office inviting me to the Capitol. The story has reached the people who matter. I spend days preparing every document, every email, a timeline showing how the ranger overstepped. At the meeting, I lay out my case, the officials listen, and finally they announce the ranger is reassigned, my privileges reinstated. As I leave, I stop beside him. You could have just joined me for coffee. He says nothing. That night I can't sleep. Victory feels more like static than satisfaction. Around midnight, headlights appear in the trees. He steps out, no badge, just a tired man. You won, he says. Congratulations. But you don't know what this job does to people. One mistake, one video, and you're branded forever. For the first time, I see the human, not the badge. You could have admitted you were wrong, I say. It's not about right or wrong, it's about control. I stare at the fire. Maybe it needs to burn sometimes. The next morning, copyright claims hit my inbox threatening to erase my videos. I drive to the newspaper office, hand over every file. The editor runs the story, it goes national. The final twist. The ranger emails the paper admitting he was pressured by superiors. Suddenly he's a whistleblower. The department scrambles, promises reforms. That night I sit under the stars, messages pouring in from strangers, some thanking me, others sharing their own battles. And just when I think the fire's out, a letter arrives. The ranger tells me the disputes become a training program for new recruits, Project Ember. They ask me to attend the first ceremony, bring the original rental form. When I get there, Barnes greets me, older but smiling. We light the fire together, the ranger and I. He says I used to think control kept things safe. Turns out understanding does. That's the heart of it, isn't it? Sometimes the smallest spark, one stubborn act of defiance, can burn down an old system and light the way for something better. As I walk back to my truck for the last time, I turn to see the fire glowing steady. Not angry, not wild, just enough to remind anyone passing by, respect the flame. So let me ask you, if the system came after you, would you fight back, or would you let the fire die? Drop your answer below, tell me your story. Because sometimes the world just needs a little spark and someone brave enough to keep it burning.